Hi, it's Jade here at the Currents headquarters in downtown St. Paul, bringing you another one of our virtual sessions. And today we're checking in with Simmel. Simmel, how are you doing?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. We were talking about it as we were getting ready to bring this all to you. Uh, the the weirdness of technology and how this is how we're getting music these days. And I know a lot of people have been talking about the Save Our Stages Act and this idea of independent venues and how much, we all need them for the entire musical ecosystem. And since you have been, you had to cut your tour short, is there a venue that comes to mind or a specific show maybe that you like when you can get back out there that you want to be at and why?
Yeah, what a good question. I think I always go in year phases. So a year ago now, I would have been, and I'm supposed to be now in Europe doing a couple festivals, and those, especially like on summer evenings where I live, it's just like such a perfect weather situation. And being outside as the sun's going down, like just makes me long for that at a festival, being outdoors and um, not only performing but like as a fan too, and listening to other artists with that setting. There's nothing like it. So I do miss that.
Yeah. Is that what you kind of miss the most? Is that being able to not just play your own music, but to be able to watch kind of the openers or the headliners and see the other bands performing at the same time?
Oh yeah, I mean, being able to sit, especially like being able to watch something from side stage is like the most, and you're not like sweating on other people, and you're like having a drink, and it's just like it's the most like princess way of watching music, which I am fully embracing. I miss it a lot from that perspective. But I mean, I saw Billie Eilish. She had already sort of blown up, and um, she was playing this outdoor little amphitheater by where I live, and it was I was not side stage. It was in the normal people seats, and it was again like this sun going down. Amazing performance. So yeah, I will take it from any angle I can get it.
Yeah, the sweaty. I kind of miss the sweatiness of being near people, and I know that's going to be a while from
It's
now.
gone now.
You know,
Yeah.
oh, that's what I miss the most. But it seems like you've been busy. I mean, you're in your studio right now, and you have this new song. And
Yeah.
I was listening to it, and it is a song where we aren't next to each other, sweating on each other all the time anymore, and a lot of people are alone. And you had said this thing, maybe it's a idea of kind of connecting people. Do you feel that when you're making new music, and especially that new song of yours, which I should say is The Dark, and it's out now, is is there something about that where people are right now that is inspiring you when you're making music?
Yeah. I think even before we were all physically isolated from each other, I definitely created in a place that was fairly isolated. I have a few, folks I like to collaborate with, but from an inspiration standpoint, I definitely go to like a pretty isolated place to write from. And the cool thing about that is that even though I'm alone, a lot of times the inspiration is something that's really unifying from like a human standpoint, whether I'm writing about, in this case, being alone and a lot of the feelings that come with that. I mean, the most obvious one would be sadness, but a lot of other things come with that, like being quiet and having space and time to think about your own self and how you fit into the world, and how maybe those relationships that you saw differently before you were fully away from that person, we're all experiencing the same thing at the same rate almost, right? Like around the world. So um, more than before, even it almost feels like a really unifying experience.
Well, I do want to talk to you a little bit more about your process and if that's changed at all
Mhm.
since COVID. But I want to hear some of this music. So I would love to hear the new song, and if you could
Awesome.
tell us a little bit about the dark and kind of what went into your process? Was it the song lyrics first, or was it the mood, or what kind of came to you first?
Yeah. This song really, like a lot of songs, start from some sort of like really crappily recorded phone memo. And I had this lyric, one of the last lyrics of the song is "The dark led me to light again." And because I write so often about darkness in so many ways, but also, spinning that into a positive in that we have to go through the darkness, or at least have darkness in our lives to have perspective on the good things and on the light. And so I had this line sort of beating around for a long time. I think it was probably like a year before I actually sat down to write this song. And I had the melody too. Sometimes it just is like a melody without lyrics. Sometimes it's the other way around. But this one had like a melody, and it didn't really change. I mean, it bore the whole song from that one little snippet, which is somewhat unusual because usually you'll have like, or speaking for myself, I'll have an idea, and if you went back and listened to that phone recording, it is like a wholly different song. Like it took me somewhere else, and that's just sort of the fun journey of songwriting. But this one stuck to it, and from a recording standpoint, I collaborated and sent it to a few of my friends who don't live in the city, and which again kind of doesn't really matter right now if you're able to record remotely. And we put drones and a number of other instruments on it, and it came out sounding like way more of a, not like energetic, but full band sound. And I loved it, and I sat on it for a while, and I shared it with a couple people, and something just wasn't right all the way. And so I sort of reimagined it midway through the process, with a lot of layered vocals, like a lot of harmonies, a lot of other like sort of really warm, comforting instruments and acoustic textures, and that somehow better matched up for what the song's about, like feeling almost connected organically to each other and to yourself, rather than, oh, this is just another sort of classic sounding folk or alt folk sound song. So it really found its way naturally, which is always fun when that can happen.
Well, let's take a listen to it. This is the Currents virtual session with SYML.
The song is new, and it's called "The Dark." My fire is starved of oxygen. A flicker in the howling wind. Beware, the night is closing in. And if I fall asleep, the shadows win. Well, the darkness came to take my faith. It tried to steal my words to pray. My love came down like holy rain, and she became my God that day. And she became my God that day. She taught me how to think out loud, to listen where there ain't no sound, to love myself through all the doubt, to sing and make my mother proud. Oh, to sing and make my mother proud.
dark I learned to love again. A sacred place it's always been, where souls depart and life begins. The dark led me to light again. Yeah, the dark led me to light again. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, the dark led me to light again. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, the dark led me to light again. Song number 2. This is a song called Symmetry. Come now, child, the day is long. Hide not yourself from me. Angels sing their final song. Silence will turn to sleep. Take heed, my son. The darkness will come. Black holes will bend the proudest ones and change up your symmetry. Just as the night swallows the sun, I know you'll come for me. Take heed, my son. The darkness will come. Take heed, my son. The darkness will come. Rest now, child, the day is done. The dark comes for everything. Inside the heart of everyone, there lives infinity.
That was beautiful. That is Simmel joining us on the Currents virtual session.
Thank you, thank you,
And,
thank you.
those two just felt so nice right next to each other. A song about the dark, your new song called The Dark. And I saw that you have a playlist that's just called Sad Songs. And I wonder, is there something about the kind of the darker songs, the sadder songs? Is there something about that darkness that kind of draws you to the music that you not only write for yourself, but that you enjoy in general? You were mentioning Billie Eilish earlier.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, I know I'm not alone when I say that I connect to sad music as a fan, as a writer. Unfortunately, like a lot of the folks I work with commercially are like, man, you maybe do a happy one. Like maybe do something that won't make people want to cry. But I mean, if you like that last song I played called Symmetry it was inspired by that picture of a black hole that came out like a year or two ago. Scientists like finally captured an image of a black hole, and I don't consider myself that much of like a space nerd, but for some reason seeing that like supernatural thing that's actually very natural, that kind of stuff, like about the world we live in, the universe, but also, if you go the opposite way and look inside of yourself down into what makes you and your brain so powerful and your heart so powerful. I don't know why, but it definitely takes me to a dark place often. But it's not to say that I don't find, a lot of beauty in that too, and a lot of good things.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people, especially how we listen to music. I mean, I'm thinking, both of us have our headphones on.
Yeah.
Music has become something that is really internal, that does make you think about yourself and reflect on it. And with kind of that in mind, I know you've been doing kind of a series of covers. And is there any artist who you appreciate more now, or you think about differently now that you've covered their music?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, not to keep on talking about Billie Eilish, but that song, When the Party's Over, I sat down and was learning it on the piano and just like almost breaking down. Like it's such a, for somebody her age to, and I know that's just like a tired thing to comment about Billie Eilish as her age, but like for somebody to lyrically come up with that and the performance and everything, I mean, I just like fully was in it and love that song. I mean, I'm a huge Jeff Buckley fan, and I've always like, when you have a favorite artist, and like for a long time that artist for me was U2, and I like went in and out of love with them. Like I last saw them on the Joshua Tree reunion tour, and it was awesome. Like I just fully went back into that record and fell in love with those songs again. I do that same thing with Jeff Buckley and his album Grace. There is something so magical about the path of that album and those songs and his just sort of pure angst. I don't know. I can't think of another, artist that does it better. So, but I'll also say, the latest Taylor album, the song with Bon Iver, like at first I wanted to hate it and write it off. Like I'm sure a lot of fans on either side of Taylor or Bon Iver wanted to, hate it. But I think it's a great song. I'm all about it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Justin went with his kind of baritone. Like Taylor is the one who can convince him to leave the falsetto behind for a little bit. It sounded lovely.
He has such
Is
a
there,
deep voice.
yeah, is there anything since the quarantine, since the beginning, since you've had a little bit more time at home and with yourself, and without the distraction of tour, is there anything that you've learned about yourself?
I mean, honestly, I had been gone so much that during some pretty formative years of my kids' lives, and I think the biggest thing I've learned about myself is that I really missed, but I didn't miss out in the way of like I can't rebuild that time or the experiences that we would have had together, but I missed being like the kind of dad that is around a lot. And I'm really thankful that a part of this time is being able to like forcing us to be together a lot and figure out, like, especially with my wife, like what those parenting roles are, from a discipline standpoint, but also from like a, oh my gosh, I love you. Like, how are we going to like explore the world together? And that's been really cool to learn and to grow in the last few months.
Well, I want you to be able to get back out there and hang with the family. And Simil, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to play us some music. And I want to get to one more song here, but thank you to our engineer, Eric, and Jesse, our producer. And Simil has a new single, The Dark, which is out now. Simil, how about one more for us here?
Awesome. Thank you. This is a song called Where's My Love? Restarting. This is a song called Where's My Love?
Cold bones, yeah, that's my love. She hides away like a ghost. Ooh, does she know that we bleed the same? Ooh, don't wanna cry, but I break that way. Cold sheets, oh, where's my love? I am searching high, I'm searching low in the night. Ooh, does she know that we bleed the same? Ooh, don't wanna cry, but I break that way. Did she run away? Did she run away? I don't know. But if she ran away, if she ran away, come back home. Just come home. I got a fear, oh, in my blood. She was carried up into the clouds, high above her. With your blood, I'll bleed the same. Ooh, if you're scared, I'm on my way. Did you run away? Did you run away? I don't need to know. But if you ran away, if you ran away, come back home. Just come home.
That again is Simil joining us for a virtual session with The Current. And thank you again, Simil, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And thank you so much for watching and for listening. And keep an eye on The Current's Facebook page and our YouTube channel and thecurrent.org for the next virtual session.